it can manifest. It's just your mindset that makes you feel like, no, this is not possible, that is not possible, because you have associated the feeling of anxiety of this is not possible, that is not possible, that resistance to that awareness of this is not possible, and clasping the two, you're feeling like, okay, I'm feeling like this and I'm getting this thought, then it must be true. But it's the other way around. Your thoughts create your reality. So every time you're getting the thought that I definitely cannot manifest that I desire, you feel that resistance. Because you're having that thought, that is why you are having that resistance. So the moment you realize that your thoughts are creating your reality, the perspective through which you are seeing life is creating your reality. Just by changing your perspective, you can start to create the life of your dreams. We are that powerful that if we think that we cannot create our reality, that becomes that dominant simulation that we are focusing on. So, not getting to create your reality in your favor and also operating in that state where opposite manifestations are showing up is in fact your creation. With that being said, you can reverse that dynamic and start to create the life of your dreams in every area of your life. So, start living in the end and start working on changing your perspective. Understand that everything is possible. Miracle work, the magic of Jesus, Sai Baba, of every god, is very interlinked to how law of attraction works and how your faith muscles help you to attract that you desire. Neville Goddard literally has a book known as Faith is Your Fortune. So, with that being said, you can manifest everything that you desire and create the reality of your dreams. But for that, you have to focus and stay in that state of consciousness that I am creating my reality. And to think also that, oh, I'm not creating my reality, universe is not working in my favor, is a lot of self-sabotage. Because knowing that you create your reality, what would be the reason that you would go on choosing that I cannot create my reality, imagination cannot create the reality for me, something so good cannot happen? What are the odds that someone would think so negatively and so self sabotagingly about themselves unless they are not in love with themselves? So, this is why manifestation and self love and working on self awareness, meditating, getting to know yourself, and following the path of inner realm are so interconnected. So, get more self aware. Start working on your emotions, your fears, your triggers. Start to understand how you're associating your fears to different thoughts, how you're coming to the negative conclusions. And by changing those negative conclusions and starting to change your perspective, you start to tap into a realm where you're creating your reality easily and effortlessly. But what is in your way are your beliefs and conditioning. And they are so well structured in place that you are reinforcing them again and again by your feelings. So your thoughts and feelings anchoring has to break, and that disanchoring leads to rewiring of your nervous system to a state of consciousness where you are starting to see things differently and associate to things differently. And change in that association is extremely necessary for you to see things differently from a new perspective. And unless and until you change your perspective, you won't be able to associate from that new state. And unless until you do that, you'll not be able to expect from that state of amplification where you know that definitely things are working in my favor because I'm choosing it because I love myself. And why wouldn't I choose reality to be so easy for me that if by just imagining I can create the life of my dreams? So you are creating your reality every moment and living in the end, starting to stay in the state that I am living the life where I have all that I desire is but the first very step of your manifestation. Because when you start staying there and when ask universe questions like, universe, what will it take me to do or think to have that I desire, you start to show up in timelines at the right place at the right time, and situation starts to line up for you, and the momentum of your desires starts to get activated, and you get ready to finally manifest the life of your dreams, and all of consciousness starts to orchestrate in that frequency because